Regarding economic statecraft, I think this is a very old concept. We're talking about how a country utilizes the financial and economic resources in order to extend political influence. I think the essence remains the same, despite what is going on the so-called great power competition between China and the United States. But what's the differences now and what is new is just in terms of methodology and what would be considering as an economic statecraft. So in the past, most of the economic statecraft we would consider would be international assistance, foreign aid, and these are very static things given from the developed countries to developing countries. But nowadays, I think since the 21st century, we see a power shift between the so-called North Hemisphere and the global South. And then somehow countries like China, for example, has also become a major source of foreign assistance provision as well. So that really, the nature and also the countries which practice economic statecraft has changed. Now, secondly, is also to do with the, I would consider, secondly, is also to do with the increasing international economic influence of the so-called global South as well. And most of those countries would like to see a much bigger voice in Washington consensus-led international institutions in order to project its voice and adding a weight in terms of voting powers. And again, they try to using its increasing economic influence to exert political influence on international multilateral institutions. So I think because of the nature of international order and because of the power shift between North and South somehow has changed, and that really led a fundamental shift in terms of economic statecraft. The reason why I've chosen that subject is because I would consider, given where we are now between Washington and Beijing, it's not about tariff and the trade war. Essentially, we are having a conflict between two different economic systems and two contested political ideologies. So when it comes to China, and Communist Party always have a debate to what extent it would allow the market to determine the economic activities, and also to what extent the Chinese Communist Party should intervene the market. And China had that debate back to 1978, and the end result was 40 years of economic success. And now the Chinese economy is slowing down, and the country is now in a turning point and try to debate exactly what will be the role of the market and what will be the role of the party. Because in order to let the party to give up certain power to offer more autonomy to the market, and then that would allow party to have more confidence. But however, I don't really think the Communist Party has yet have that sufficient confidence to let the market alone to run and to determine the economic activity. So that's why I would consider, on the one hand, yes, the Chinese Communist Party does need to have the market and economic growth to justify its legitimacy. But while on the other hand, the market could also change the party. So that's why I would consider that's a permanent dilemma.